Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday morning. We are here live on Facebook. If you're watching the replay, you could be here in the Facebook group Creative Chelsey, or you could be on YouTube. I'd love to have you just leave a comment letting me know you're here and you're watching today. So if you're joining me, go ahead and just say hello. All right, so we're here just a little early. I like to begin just a couple minutes early so that people can come and find us and the videos there when they start looking. Good morning, Jean. So glad to see you here. So for a long time, for like the last couple months, we have been showing the all-inclusive kit called Hello, Dear Friend. And it makes these beautiful cards. So I just wanted to kind of show you those. So these are the original cards. You get 2 full-size cards and then 2 smaller cards, as well as envelopes. And it includes everything you need to make those cards. So the dies, you get some ink, the cute little ink spot in Misty Moonlight. You get a full stamp set. This one's just got a bunch of great greetings on it. And then this really cute flower and leaf image. So that's a really fun one. And you also get your adhesive. So you get some dimensionals and some glue dots. And what I like to do after I make those original cards is come up with some alternative cards, some different cards that you can do using those products that are in the kit. And today I'm going to be creating this fun card, and we're using the inside pattern from the envelope to get this fun striped pattern for the background, and then just the other pieces that come in the card. So we'll make that today. I did add a couple items that are not in the kit, and they are the basic white thick cardstock for some card bases, and some champagne rhinestones, so a package of these. And these are pretty inexpensive, and you can see how they just add that really fun little touch to the cards. So I think they're totally worth it to add that little extra bling. So for today, you're going to need from the kit the large envelope. You'll need the purple card base, one of the larger labels. I cut my fingernails and so now I can't pick anything up. So one of those larger labels, a large flower, and a couple of the leaf die cuts. So it's nice when these are they come already printed and die cut for you. So these cards can come together really quickly. So it is now 9:30. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this card. I do need my paper trimmer. So I'm going to start with that. And I'm going to start cutting the envelope down. So starting with the bottom corner or the bottom edge, just remove just the tiniest piece and then come to one of the edges, and then you can open it up and trim it down. Now you'll notice that you normally would use this paper this way because there is a very slight score line where the envelope would fold. And so normally I would use it and just use that full piece here with no score line, but I really wanted my lines to go horizontal and not vertical. And so we're going to be including that score line, and you can just barely see it here. It's not noticeable at all. Only if you were to like run your finger or know that it's there would you even notice it. And so we're going to start by trimming off one side here. Actually, I'm going to go here to the bottom corner of the flap, and I'm going to just kind of line that up with my cut line and then trim there. So that's sitting at just like 3/8 of an inch is what I removed there. And then I'm going to rotate this, and I want a full size card front. And so I just looked at the comments, and I want to say hello to Becky. So glad you're joining us today, Becky. And thank you for sharing the video. I appreciate that. And Jean just said she ordered a second kit so she can continue to make alternatives. They are just such a fun, it's just beautiful colors, beautiful images. They're just really fun to create with. So you can so sometimes when I have a stripe design like this, I want the colored stripe to be on the edge here. So you do see how my edge is white? So that is a personal preference. And so if you want to, you can kind of slide that beyond the 5.5 mark and then try to get a nice green edge along your card there. So our final measurement is going to be 5.5 by 4.25. So I'm flipping that again and going to 4.25. And now I'm going to just trim off that little white edge, and so that it can be a nice green edge on the end of my card. So you can see there that now it's green and not white. So I've got 2 green edges there. And that's just a personal preference, and actually looking at my original card, I do have a white on both ends. So it's totally up to you how you want to cut that paper. So that one's all ready. The next piece we're going to do is the purple leaf card base, and we're just going to cut right down that score line. So that sits at 2.5 inches, just like that. And then what I'm going to do next is actually just find a quick mark. So I'm going to probably do 3/4 of an inch here. So at 3/4 of an inch, I'm lining it up on the right side, and then using my measurement tool that's on my hinged arm, I'm going to, let's see if I can show you this. So I have this line here, and that shows me where my blade is cutting. So I'm going to find halfway mark at 2.5. So that's going to be 1.25. So I'm going to lift up my arm and place that marking at 1.25 there. Okay. And then at the 3/4 inches here, and then I'm going to push this down and just make a little mark where the middle is. Okay. So I don't know if you can see that. Maybe a little bit better on this side, but there's just a little mark, and that's going to tell me where I should cut for my flag. So I'm going to go from one corner up to that marking. So there's lots of different ways to find the center point when you're making a flag like this, but that's just one technique. And this is a little deeper of a cut than I did originally. And so lots of different options. Again, this was 3/4 inches deep, and this is probably closer to a 1/2 inch or so. Okay, so lots of fun things that you can do with that. Good morning, Hildenelle. So glad you're able to join us today. And you can just hold on to this and use it as another white piece for another card. And I think I do have one that uses that. So go ahead and put that off to the side, and we'll use it in a future card. I do have 2 more cards left that I've designed with this kit. So let's move on to stamping, and then we can put our card together, and you can see how quick this card comes together. Hi, Diana. Glad you're able to make it today. So just ink up your stamp, and I'm using the Just a Little Note greeting from the stamp set in the kit. Just making sure there's lots of ink on there. And then you're just going to hover it, make sure it's centered on that label, and then stamp it down. Nice even pressure all around. And then go ahead and remove it. So pretty easy. So let's go ahead and start putting it together. So we got our card base, and it's just cut to your regular size. And I do have my bone folder. Let me grab that. There are a couple tools that I do love to use all the time when I'm crafting. And one of them is the bone folder. And let's see. I can add these things with my glue dots, but it's a little bit on the large side. And so I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal or Stampin' Seal Plus, whichever one you prefer. I actually just ran out of my Stampin' Seal Plus and the refills that I have here, so I need to order more. So I'm using just the regular Stampin' Seal. And my trick here is that when you get to the edge, you actually lift it up so it's vertical and then pull straight back, and it creates a better cut. And so when you start again, it pulls it nice and even. So that's just a little tip there if you have issues with your Stampin' Seal. And then when I'm doing a full card base, when I'm adding that pattern, I will usually stand it up and then try to just match up the edges on all sides. So something like that, so that it makes it nice and easy to apply that. Next, we're going to add our banner. You could add this with dimensionals if you want. And I'm just going to place it a little off to the left of center. So maybe about a 1/2 inch or so. And then the greeting is popped up with dimensionals. You can go ahead and use full dimensionals here, or you can cut them in half. Whatever you prefer. Good morning, Adele. She says that the alternatives have enabled, I love that word, my 3rd purchase of this kit. Thank you. Well, I'm so glad you have loved them. I love this kit. I think it's just so beautiful. All right, so then I'm just going to place that off center, so it's a little to the left again. And then let's add our flower next. And behind the flower, we're going to just do a faux bow with the beautiful cord that comes in the kit. And I'm actually at the end of my cord here. So I'm wondering how long this is. Maybe we can get another piece out of it. Oh, it's a little short. It's about 13 inches, so it's probably not quite long enough that I could cut it in half and use it. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the whole thing. I'm adding some adhesive here to the back. I'm going to find the center of that cord and moving across, placing the center on the back of the flower, and then you just wrap it back and forth just as if you had tied a bow. So you want it to kind of have that bow look. And that cord is really curly because it is wrapped around the tube that they send it on. And so I don't mind it curly for this project. I think it just adds to that really beautiful image and the cards. So it's going to look something like that. And to hold those pieces in place, you can add a dimensional over the cord. And then I did add it so that, like, to me, this is upside down. So that to me is the right way, where the yellow middle of the flower is a little bit higher than center. And so just at a little angle right in the corner. And then we're going to tuck in our leaves. And here I'm going to actually cut the dimensionals in half. So another tool that you'll want is a pair of scissors. And I do love the paper snips. So I'm going to actually add this to just 3 of the flower or the leaves. Just make sure that you can hide those behind that leaf. We'll do one more. Okay, just wanted to make sure that if you have a little bit of that dimensional that's peeking out, you can always just take your snips and like snip it down and pull off that little piece so that you have more space between the edges. And then you're just going to slide these in on each side of the flower, and you can tuck them in as far into that flower as you like. Make sure that cord comes up and over the images. That one. So you can see here that the dimensional is over. So I'm probably just going to come in here and snip that dimensional in half and then remove that top part because I don't need it to be extra thick there. Jean says that she hopes this kit will go on sale at the end of the catalog. That would be nice. I think though that the price point of the kit is really good. So if you don't have this kit yet, it is pretty well priced. But I do know that Jean has, she said that she has purchased many of them. So it looks like I also can remove that one. So I'm just going to remove that whole piece. Maybe add a glue dot there. So another tool that I love to use all the time is my Take a Pick tool. And I love this putty side. It's perfect for picking up glue dots and little accessories and adding them to your card. So, and then on the other side, you have some attachments, and one of them is this paddle and then a point end. And I like to use that pointy end to remove that paper. And especially since I've just cut my fingernails, it's perfect because I don't have those fingernails to pick up any of those small things. So I love that about that tool. And I'll link all the extra products that I've used in the description for this card. I think I'm going to bring that over just a little bit more. Okay, so there we go. Just add the leaves on the other side of the flower, kind of close to the greeting. And then the last thing is, or are, some champagne rhinestones. I love how that just looks so pretty with that copper twine. And again, using that Take a Pick tool, I'm just going to place some around my images. Maybe the large one down there, and then the medium and a small one up at the top. And there we go. So quick and easy. We finished in 15 minutes, and I was even talking, so we could even do that faster. Loving the card. I love those cute colors and how they all blend, to, not blend, but work together to create a really beautiful card. Well, thanks so much for joining me today as we made this card. Let me show you the card we're going to be creating next week. Let me grab it. So we have two, and they're really similar. So I think we're actually going to make them both at the same time next week. So we've got this really cute one, just a little hello. We're doing some fussy cutting with the greeting there. And then we've used, remember how I said hold on to that extra piece? We are using that extra piece here. So you can see that that's that same size. And so we've stamped on it. So we are going to use some different ink colors, and you can choose whatever inks you want or have on hand. And so we've got some yellow and green to kind of pull in that fun color. So these two kind of go together. You see that? Such a real, just a beautiful card. And this one is so simple and really easy to put together. So we'll make both of those next week. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a creative day. Bye.